Video games have always managed to get the short end of the stick when being covered in the media, particularly when they are under scrutiny for depiction of violence. America in particular has become more tolerant of mature-rated games than it once was. There was a time when Grand Theft Auto was a household name due to its negative exposure on major news channels. Now it is among one of the most popular games among all age ranges and doesn't seem to garner as much controversy as it once did. Today we will be looking at video games that were banned in different areas across the globe. Number 6. Manhunt 2. Manhunt 2 is a stealth game which gives you the option of executing your enemies. Once you have locked onto your enemy from behind, you kill them a certain way depending on how long you wait. The longer you wait, the more brutal the kill. This game, made by Rockstar, was originally given an adults-only rating prior to its release. It was so graphic that it refused classification in the United Kingdom, meaning they wouldn't even consider it unless it was cleaned up. Rockstar decided to tone down the violence and ended up putting graphical filters on the screen while performing executions. It was given a mature rating when Rockstar toned it down, but was still banned for sale in Germany, Ireland, New Zealand, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and South Korea. Manhunt is still considered to be one of the most violent franchises in video game history.
Number 5. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is widely regarded as the best fighting game to date. It was also one of the first games to feature blood and gore with decent graphics. Released in 1992 on arcade systems and later on Super Nintendo and Sega, it was very well received among gamers. In the game, you fight against a friend or a computer player. There are 2 rounds, and whoever defeats their opponent twice wins. At the end of the second round, a "Finish Him" prompt appears, and you have the option of performing a fatality to kill your opponent. Fatalities range from slicing your opponent to bits to uppercutting them into a pool of acid. Parents and public officials reacted to the game's violence very negatively. The entertainment software industry was given 1 year to form a rating system for the game, or the government would create its own. It was then that the ESRB was created, which required all video games to be rated with said rating clear on the packaging. This game was banned in Australia, Brazil, and South Korea.
Number 4. Postal 2. Postal 2 is a computer game that can be best described as a first-person Grand Theft Auto without cars. You can wander around the map and wound, murder, and even urinate on people. Though it is worth mentioning that the game doesn't prompt you to hurt innocent people. The game starts on a Monday and gives you daily tasks to accomplish. These tasks range from mundane, such as getting milk, to the hilariously unusual, piss on dad. It is also possible to get through many of the quests as a pacifist. There are moments where it is tough to escape without use of deadly force. For instance, while confessing your sins, Al-Qaeda invades the church you're in. Talk about bad timing. The game doesn't take itself seriously, so depending on the person, it can be hard to get offended by it. This game was banned in New Zealand and can get you up to 10 years in prison with a $50,000 fine just for owning it.
Number 3. Bully. Bully is another Rockstar game that puts you in the shoes of a freshman in high school. In the beginning cutscene, you're dropped off at a preparatory school, much to your dismay. In this sandbox game, you're free to go wherever you choose, but not without consequence. You must attend your classes every day, or else you'll be reprimanded by the prefects who roam around the map. You'll be rewarded with various weapons and items for attending class. The term weapon is used lightly, as nothing in the game causes serious harm to your peers. It isn't possible to kill anything in this teenage wasteland. Much like GTA or Postal 2, if you stick to the main quest, you usually only put a whooping on the bad guys. With a name like Bully and the ability to cause havoc in a school setting, this game was met with controversy. Bully was banned in Brazil, and anyone caught with the game is met with a hefty fine.
Number 2. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. When it comes to controversial games, Grand Theft Auto is king. It was the first of its kind in terms of games with no chaos limit. Kill whoever you want, and when the cops show up, kill them too. Grand Theft Auto 3 in particular garnered much controversy at first. It was the first three-dimensional third-person game in the series, and it sold very well. It wasn't long before parents and news stations alike came in with pitchforks. The uproar was even more dramatic due to how shortly after 9/11 the game was released. It ushered in a brand new era of freedom in video games and spawned multiple sequels thereafter. 1 year later, Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out, and 2 years after that, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was released. San Andreas followed the same formula as its predecessors, with better graphics, a larger map, and a lot more to do. It introduced the concept of having a girlfriend in the GTA universe. If you consistently treat them well, you'll eventually have the option of coming in for coffee. At this point, the game's camera stays outside the house, and various pleasure sounds can be heard. What made this even more controversial was the discovery of a sex minigame within the game's files. The files were available on console and PC, and it wasn't long before various modders made the minigame available. This got the game considerable media attention and prompted an adults-only rating by the ESRB. San Andreas was quickly re-released without the files, and copies on store shelves were replaced with an updated version, free of the files.
Number 1. EA Sports MMA. MMA has gotten very popular in the last decade. It wasn't long before MMA games were being produced. In EA Sports MMA, your objective is to beat your opponent to a pulp while striving to win the match. If you wear them down enough, it's possible to win by knockout. This game is a little violent, but unlike others on this list, MMA is a sport. The game has a T rating, so it's even stranger that it made this list. Interestingly enough, this game wasn't banned for violence, but for its energy drink advertisements. You heard that right. This game was banned in Denmark for advertising energy drinks. Unfortunately, EA didn't produce an altered version to allow its sale. They took the loss. You have to wonder why EA didn't make the small change. This ban takes the prize for most bizarre reason a country won't sell a video game.
So those were 6 video games that were banned across the world. I hope you enjoyed this list. Some of these were pretty surprising. And I'd like to thank Chuck for his contribution to this video. I left a link down below, so be sure to subscribe to his channel and make sure you tell him Let's Read sent you. If you got a countdown of your own and you want to share it, make sure you submit it to the email down below, and it might just be in a future video. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you again soon.